Boys and girls and everyone in between, welcome back to Not Too Good. Before we get started, I have a very big announcement. Oh, hold on. Announcement alert. We got our first subscriber. And it's me. You know, always been a day one, always been there for me in the good times and the bad times, just always kind of held it down. You see the jaramillo subscribe to you on YouTube. That's insane. It doesn't get better than that. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't get better than that. What are we talking about today? We're going to be exploring a lot of my time on the internet and what it's done for me. I'm going to be talking about my own story, and hopefully it can apply to you. Hopefully it resonates. So this is me. I grew up on the internet. I think I got internet access when I was like 5, so a little young, but it's okay. I had a heavy interest in expressing and consuming a lot of my interests online, even as like a young kid. And it was hard for me to talk to people about that kind of stuff and communicate like, hey, you know, I enjoy these things. I enjoy being online. So that caused me to get pretty into an online persona when I was like 8 or 9. But at the same time, I would also get heavy into real life circles. Like I wasn't an absolute loner when I was a kid. Like I did still have a lot of friends. It always stayed separate from one another. And as I got older, it was harder for me to hide one life from the other because I was doing so much stuff online that I was interested in and I wanted to talk about, but I couldn't talk about with my real life people. And vice versa. I was doing a lot of stuff in real life that like nobody on the internet really cares about. Like nobody in, you know, a video game forum wants to hear about what you did at recess today. You know what I'm saying? Around 2012, 2013, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat. You know, the people in my real life circle would establish themselves on social media. You started to feel a social pressure of like, you know, I'm not on these platforms, but I know that all of my friends are. Eventually, it became just another persona that I felt like I had to maintain. It was like a funnel. So I've constructed this pyramid of Jake. I instilled this belief in my head that I had to represent myself in certain ways, depending on who I was catering to, who I was trying to communicate to. Pretty soon, it developed from just showing the best parts of me to picking and choosing things that I thought represented me the best. Basically, like, what can I share that keeps this identity going, even if it's not truly authentic to me? Eventually, I lost my authentic identity. You know, I kind of lost, like, who I was. There was no time or space to like genuinely explore, express, and discover my own interests because I felt like maintaining an image or a representation of who people thought I was more important than discovering anything about myself authentically. It felt like getting into certain things was not allowed in a sense because it wasn't in line with who people thought I was. That really caught up to me, you know, the end of my high school. And a little bit after high school, I got so caught up in my own brand, I started to like, it was like a feedback loop, right? This is the jaramillo starter pack, especially like right after high school. This is it. You know, I got my GH4, the camera I still use now, big into Frank Ocean, big into Kanye, big into like streetwear, you know, really like indie photography, taking photos of like flowers and sunsets and like making them look like film. And I was like, okay, this is what represents me. You know, this is how people see me. I need to figure out what else can I share that's in line with this brand. It'd be really weird to go out and try something like camping or like, you know, start wearing like bright yellow clothes because I wore all black all the time. You know, this hoodie, I'm literally right there. It's in the corner, the St. Pablo hoodie. I'm wearing it right now. I did that because like that's just how I thought people wanted to perceive me. So I was like, well, I can't really differentiate from that because that's not on brand. It's hard to even know your authentic identity when you're so caught up in representing a brand, you know, your own personal brand. So that begs the question, where do we go from here? As a young person at like 16, 17, 18, in those prime years where you're trying to figure out who you are and trying to figure out things that resonate you and things that you could really spend the rest of your life doing, to actively reject those things is insane. So the older I've gotten, and you know, especially within the past like year or two, I've been more open and been able to actively like embrace the things that I was rejecting for so long. So I think the answer is to explore the things that you resent about yourself, which is way easier said than done. Like, obviously, are there certain things that you want to do, but you're afraid of judgment? You know, like I said, are there certain things that you want to do and you want to try and you want to express, but they don't fall in line with your brand? Because I say do it. I say, like, why not try them? See how it feels. There's a reason that you're afraid of them, and it's not because like you're afraid of actually doing it. For me personally, it was because I was afraid of expressing it, because it didn't fall in line with who I thought people thought that I was. So now we get to the irony of this all, and me talking about this idea that like, hey, maybe we shouldn't like brand ourselves. Maybe we shouldn't treat ourselves as personal brands, but treat ourselves like people. It comes with irony because obviously this journey isn't easy. You know, my purpose is to express and document this journey that I'm going through, you know, and hopefully help others, you know, through their own journeys. Ironically, though, my documentation and expression of this journey, my ability to explore and express my authentic values and beliefs, requires me to make an actual brand out of it. That's the irony of it all. This is such a beautiful experience. And, you know, I wish it was easier for people to explore this. I just don't think there's any other real sustainable way to do it. So I got to monetize it. For better or for worse. Whether or not that clouds my judgment and clouds my actual journey is to be determined. I just want to say thanks for being here. I know this is only episode 2. We've got a long road ahead of us, and I think it'll be a really fun journey. And, you know, despite all this talk about myself and despite all of, you know, sharing my own story and talking about my journey with this is bigger than me. As much as I talk about myself, it's not about me. It's about you guys. It's about the community that I want to create and the creatives all around the world and people who resonate with the stories and the experiences that I'm sharing. With that, thank you so much. I will see you guys next week. Deuces.